All right, a very warm welcome to you. This is yet another episode of Market Pulse. This is where you get to hear all the conversations about what is happening in the market, whether it's policy, whether it's administrative, and how you can get to make money. On all the other episodes, you can catch all the discussions that we have had over time with all the market leaders. And today, it is no different. Today, we're having a conversation about what the State Department of Economic Planning does. We are at the National Treasury. This is where the State Department for Economic Planning is domiciled. What do they do? How do they help grow this economy? What are some of their key KPIs? And to help us with that discussion, I'm currently joined by Dr. Boniface Makoha, who is the Principal Secretary right here at the State Department for Economic Planning. Boniface, thank you so much for making time to speak to us, and welcome to Market Pulse.
Karibu, asante sana.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. For a lot of Kenyans, we hear about the State Department for Economic Planning, but we don't really understand what the State Department does. So could you just take us through the key mandate of the State Department for Economic Planning?
Thank you so very much, Jimmy. I want to take this opportunity just to appreciate you for having me on show, just to explain to Kenyans what we do. The State Department for Economic Planning is under the National Treasury, and our mandates, we draw this from the Executive Order number 1 of 2025.
Yeah.
I'll just highlight one that is key. We are charged with coordinating the formulation of development plans. That is both national, sectoral, and even at county level. We also do the monitoring and tracking of the implementation of these plans. By extension, the projects, government projects.
Yeah.
So that is the overall mandate that we do. But under the State Department, we still have the agencies. These are parastatals, like NGCDF, that is the National Government Constituency Development Fund, which all of us know.
Yeah.
It deals with the constituency development. We have the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics that deals with the statistics, the entire statistics of the government. We have the National Council for Population Development, which deals with matters of population. We have the Vision 2030 Delivery Secretariat that looks at how we are implementing the long-term plan, Vision 2030. Then we have KIPRA, which deals at the public policy and research. Then finally, NEPAD, which looks at our continental mandate as a country. So that is a run of who we are as a State Department.
All right, and there's something that, Boniface, you've mentioned that, of course, caught my attention, and this is Vision 2030.
Yes.
Now, this is a strategic plan that was introduced in the country around 2007.
Yes.
And the aim of this plan was to guide how then we grow our economy and how we ensure we had specific targets. Now, over time, the conversation around Vision 2030 has slowed down. We don't hear about it as much as we used to do. And now, with only 3 years to 2030, how far have we come?
Thank you very much, Jimmy. What I want to probably to answer your question, allow me to run us from independence.
Okay.
Just to ask for us to be able to understand where we are in Vision 2030 and where are we heading. If you look at from independence, the development philosophy that we've had, the sessional paper number 10 of 1965, it came in to solve a few problems. But with the time, the next philosophy that came in, the development philosophy, was to improve on the one that began, that is the Harambee, that was calling people to pull resources together to develop different areas. Then we had the Nyayo. Then now, after Nyayo is when we get the Vision 2030, which started in 2008, runs up to 2030. This is still our long-term development plan that aims to transforming Kenya into an industrializing and middle-income country. We have implemented this vision in different phases under what we call the medium-term plans,
Yeah.
5 years. We had MTP1, in short we call it MTP1, MTPs. So we had 1, 2, 3, and now we are implementing MTP4, which is the tail end of Vision 2030. And the MTP4, we aligned it with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
Yeah.
Now, your question is, where are we in terms of implementation of Vision 2030?
Yeah.
Vision 2030 has 3 pillars, as you know: economic pillar, we have the social pillar, we have the political pillar. Have we seen positive progress in all the 3 pillars? The answer is yes. If you look at the economic pillar, in 2007, 2008, our economy was growing at the rate of 1.5. Currently, in 2024, we are around 2025-6, we are around 5%.
Yeah.
Inflation in 2007, 2008 was 9.7%. In January, February 2026, our inflation from the statistics of KNBS is around 4.3.
Yeah.
If you look at Kenya, by that time it was a low income country. We have moved from the low to lower middle income. This was the aspiration of the Vision 2030. Look at the connectivity that we've had in terms of infrastructure, the electricity connection. 1.1 million people, households were connected then. Right now, we are talking about a 10 times fold increase in terms of connectivity. Road network from around 9,000 kilometers to almost 23,000 kilometers. So this is just to tell you that we are Vision 2030, we have progressed in the right direction.
Yeah.
We have achieved what we had planned, though not hitting the targets as had planned earlier.
All right, and we'll come back to why we're not hitting those targets, Bwana PS, in a minute. But I just want to take you back and zoom in on 2 specific aspects of what you've talked about, particularly on economic growth and industrialization. Now, one of the things that we've had over the last couple of years is the fact that our manufacturing sector continues to struggle. If you look at manufacturing, this is one of the sectors that ideally should be boosting our industrialization. What are we lacking in that space? Why isn't industrialization then picking up as fast as it should?
One of the things, maybe before I answer that, is to let you know that the target in Vision 2030, our target was 15% in terms of industrialization should be contributing to our national GDP.
Yeah.
We are not doing very well, but not badly off. It's right now, it's about 7.5% percent contribution to our GDP. So the question is, why are we not doing the way we are supposed to do? Very important question. And this is where the bottom-up economic transformation agenda comes to solve some of these challenges. You realize that the way we designed our development philosophies from the beginning was kind of skewed. It was not all-inclusive.
Okay.
Like the sessional paper 10, 1965, it was targeting high agricultural productive areas to ensure that if we are able to spur growth there, then it will spill over. But this, contrary, yes, we had some gains, but contrary to this, we also, it led into a skewed kind of development in terms of, you come to way forward to the big 4, manufacturing and was part of it. But we realized that it was concentrated in some areas. So this is one of the factors that has led to us not being able to fully contribute, meet our target of industrialization. That is one. But 2, we must appreciate that our physical space has also not been growing at the rate we expect.
Yeah.
And for us to improve on industrialization, we really need a lot of capital pumping in. And if you not recently, the government is moving from matters of increasing tax, matters of borrowing externally and even locally. We are moving to what we are calling PPP to try and solve this problem of industrialization.
All right.
Thank you.
So, Bonapias, again, at the beginning and at the very early years of Vision 2030 implementation, the other conversation that dominated a lot of the news cycle is this agenda and this idea of double-digit economic growth. And particularly when you talk about double-digit economic growth, there were some high expectations, particularly on the job market. And I just want to understand where we are today. Unemployment is still a major headache. When you look at even investments that are coming into the country, we're saying that yes, FDIs are coming into the country, but they're not generating enough jobs for all the Kenyans that are leaving institutions of higher learning. So how do we bridge this with a couple of years to go? And what do you think are some of the things that should have happened that maybe we sort of slowed down on?
Thank you. When we talk of double-digit growth in terms of economy, that is the aspiration that we still have as a government. I know the target was about 10%.
Yeah.
We are not yet there, but we are not doing badly off. We're on the track. But one of the things I'll tell you, Jimmy, is that the bottom-up economic transformation agenda is a vehicle that has come to accelerate the implementation of Vision 2030. We slowed at some point. Reasons are many. One, external shocks. Yeah, everybody must be, whoever is living right now, you cannot ignore things like COVID-19. You can't ignore what is happening in the global space, political, geopolitical space. These are some of the factors externally. And probably internally, we would also want to agree and submit that we must have had some issues that slowed us down. Yes, when it comes to matters of job creation, this government under the MTP4 bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are up to that task. We are aware of that. And whatever is happening across the country, we're trying to solve that. Number one, like if you look at the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the housing, the 260,000 units that are under construction have created direct jobs, 620,000. If you look at the MSMEs sector, you realize that the Hustler Fund has brought financial inclusion to help even people create their own jobs. Employment. Nyota, the recent project that was launched by the president, targeting 70 youth in each ward, every ward, 1,450, giving seed money capital for them to be able to create own employment. So I want to admit that yes, we might be not yet there, but we are in the right direction in terms of creating jobs, in terms of solving unemployment, and in terms of growing our economy.
All right, it's a good thing that you bring in the element of bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and I know it says it's for inclusive growth. Now, one of the things that we saw at the very beginning stages of this administration was the introduction of the Better Agenda. And what followed, I think, in 2023 was the launch of the Medium-Term Plan 4, which incorporates the Better Agenda into the government's priority. And I want to know, when you look at MTP4 and what it intended to achieve in terms of that medium-term plan, where are we with that?
Thank you. Medium-Term Plan 4, if you look at it, we have produced a booklet. It is usually called Bottom-Up Economic Transformation Agenda for Inclusive Growth. It is ideally implementing the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And this we have several pillars, but key is the agriculture. I just want to point out maybe 2 or 3 aspects of where are we. We targeted per each financial year, like the first financial year, we were targeting to meet a maize production of about 36 million. We surpassed that. We went to 45 million. we are now this year, our target of maize production will hit 70 million. So what am I saying in terms of agriculture production is that because of what initiatives that were put there, the subsidy, fertilizer subsidies, has led to increased production of maize. In terms of a scorecard, have we gotten right when it comes to food security, particularly maize? Yes. What about coffee? Those who come from coffee growing areas. In 2022, when we launched the Better agenda, the prices were about 70 to 80 per kilo. Check what are the prices in the market right now. It's 120. Have we scored, can we be given a plus there? Yes, as a government. There is a scorecard on food security. Let's move to housing. Affordable housing was a concept that was in the Vision 2030. But the Better agenda has come to realize that now we have units close above 260,000 being implemented, being constructed across the country. And this, they are creating more than 620,000 jobs, as I said. Is this a score that we can say is a positive direction? Yes, we are achieving that. When you look at healthcare, Jimmy, for a very long time, we've been having NHIF since probably, I don't know, in decades. How many subscribers were there? By the time we introduced the SHA, there were 8 million. Right now, how many subscribers do we have? And those who have reported using the service, more than 28.5 million. That is a 300+% increase. You can mention along, even if you look at the road construction, ongoing, this government MTP4, according to us, we are at a level that we can give ourselves a B+.
Okay. Now, Bwana PS, whenever we talk about development plans, particularly for Kenya, there are those who believe, and this is based on what has happened before, that we tend to make decisions that are skewed towards infrastructure development. And I want to understand, there's the hardware of the economy that we need to get working, but also there's a software issue in terms of just even creating those employment opportunities and making sure that as we set up this infrastructure, that Kenyans can actually be able to take advantage of this infrastructure. So my question to you is, are we skewed towards more physical infrastructure as opposed to working on the software side of the economy?
Thank you very much. I'll answer that question in two approach. Number one is the answer is that to some extent, yes, as a government, but this has been happening and this government has taken deliberate steps to address that. How? One, if we look at the projects that are being implemented, for example, the recent one that the government, the president launched, the Rironi Mau Summit Road, the PPP. We are saying that the PPP should not be a standalone. It should be dealt as an ecosystem. Ecosystem means when the road comes, we have everything that follows. The amenities and all that, the jobs are created. We look at all of that. That is happening. But number two, very important, I think this is where probably the rain started beating us, when the link between the policy, the planning, budgeting, and implementation has not been very strong. So that is one of the things that probably might be slowing our pace towards realization of our targets in this long-term plan. Yes. So,
Bwana PS, again, as a country, we've been accused of being a very theoretical country where we have all these grand ideas that are well documented, well put out on black and white, but the implementation phase, as you say, we continue to lack. So what do we need to do going forward that we make sure that, okay, once we have a plan, we're going to stick to it, and we're going to be very attached to this plan in ensuring that if we said we are going from point A to point B, we will stick to the route and get to point B without deviating in between?
Thank you very much. For a very long time, we've had very good plans. We have very good policies in place. But a problem has been, especially the development plans like the Vision 2030 and the sectoral plans, the county plan.
Yeah.
We've had, one of the problems is that the plans have been, they appear more of advisory than an enforcement tool. Yeah, so you see if a plan is on like an advisory, you either decide to take it or not.
Yeah.
Even when you deviate, nothing happens. And I think that is the main weakness that we have. As a State Department, we're trying to address that by introduction of the economic planning policy, which will now strengthen the link between policy planning, budgeting, and implementation, and include requirements or enforcement mechanism of if you are not able to stick by the plan, then what happens to you? So that is where we are heading. It is not like we have failed as a government, but you see a government that realizes that there is a weakness here and we step in to address. So this, we are doing that.
All right. So allow me to take you back, Bwana PS.
Yes.
And based on something that you've mentioned, and this is the economic planning policy, do we have it in place? Are we in the process of coming up with one? And what is it supposed to cure going forward?
The economic planning policy is a work in progress, is in draft form. We've had interactions with different stakeholders, including the Economic Council of Advisors to the President, on the need to have this policy. We are drafting this policy to address key, what I've talked about, is the discipline, so that the plan becomes supreme to any other thing. And this plan has a mechanism to enforce that you, as Jimmy, if you want to do anything development-wise for this country, it must be within the plan. And this plan will ensure that resources are allocated. We are not going to plan what we cannot fund. So that is what the economic planning policy, and by extension after policy, we will have a bill where it's coming to cure, to ensure, Jimmy, that you cannot just come with a project from any other place and then you come and it's a patch on, unless it has gone through the entire approval for stakeholders to see that it contributes to where we want to go. So that is what the economic planning policy is trying to address. It is at advanced level of drafting. The teams are already finalized. We will be engaging different stakeholders, including the Council of Governors, who have reached out and requested that we have to sit and move with them. Not only them, every other person, including media. We want to have the bottom-up economic transformation agenda into this policy that is able to take us to where we want to go.
All right, so you talk about the approval process, and there are those who might argue, Bwana PS, and say already government as it is too bureaucratic. So if we come up then with a policy that says that puts another layer of approvals, aren't we then complicating this process?
The policy is not another new policy. How have we been planning? We've been planning based on policy or provisions that are scattered in different, fragmented. What we are simply doing is, are we able to bring this together so that all of us are able to understand, read from one script and interpret it the same way? So we are not creating another layer. We're just trying to increase efficiency by now allowing different parts to come together and complement, create synergy, and now speak in a language that our plans or our forefathers desired, that we need to go to this direction. So actually it is coming to do the contrary to what people might think, is to ensure that we fast track even those approvals. It is only one document, one channel.
Yeah.
Instead of multiple channels, you need to go through.
All right. So what is the incentive for different state departments or different government departments of aligning with this policy? Because I will give you an example of what has been happening, particularly in the private sector. When you talk about green financing, you'll find that financial institutions are aligning and funding more green projects because it's easy to unlock capital even from the international market. So if we are going to say that we have an economic planning policy that we expect state departments and other government institutions to align to, what is the incentive of that?
Thank you, Jimmy. When you look at, and thank you for giving that example. When you look at what the economic policy is doing, is what maybe very quickly just to tell you that we have an upcoming accountability summit.
Yeah.
This occasion sanctioned by the president, and yesterday we were having a meeting, different stakeholders, including different state departments, to look at what exactly accountability is and how are we supposed to move and talk as one. The problem we've been having is we are not able to plan as one. I mean different levels of government, national and county. We try, yes, but we struggle, and at some point, because of that, there are delays in approval of plan, delays in probably resources that are supposed to be released. But when we have a policy that now allows a very uniform template, the way things are done, this will be a motivation, because nobody wants their plan to be delayed.
Yeah.
But delayed plan, delayed approval means you're delaying implementation. So that is an initiative. And because even of how we're going to do it, those who want to come and invest here, they will also see. They look at how the policy, do we have a policy, a very robust policy to guide? If I invest here, will my investment be secure because of the legal structures that are there, or provisions or laws?
Yeah.
Yes, this is what the policy is doing, and that is an incentive, that would even attract resources, the way you're saying.
Okay. So again, allow me to take you back, Bwana PS. When we were coming up with Vision 2030, this was before the advent of the new Constitution 2010. And I want to know, how then are we working, or how is the State Department for Economic Planning working with counties to ensure that counties are also onboarded, to ensure that whatever development plans counties have is aligned to achieving Vision 2030?
Yes, the State Department currently, one of the, in fact, let me start from the tail end.
Yeah.
One of the initiatives that we've tried to do to ensure that we support the counties is to train the county planning officers. This, we launched it in last year, October, in Busia, where we trained the county planning officers at 24 counties at one sitting, and then 23. That was the first phase. Second phase we did in February. This is the support the State Department is trying to build the capacities for sustainability. Many a times they'll reach out with their CIDPs, we'll look at them. Development of CIDP, we are the ones who develop the guidelines on what they're supposed to do. This is a support. Yeah. But we want, in a long term, is a sustainable activity. We build their own capacities, their planning officers, to be able to gradually and professionally guide the planning of their CIDP that now speaks to the national plan that we have. So as a State Department, we are out and we are reaching out and we are talking, we are training them. So this is one of the support technically we are offering to the counties.
All right, so Bwana PS, as we come towards the end of this conversation, there's one thing that I'd really want you to help us understand.
Yes.
What are the consequences of not sticking to our plans? What are the consequences of us not sticking to Vision 2030? What are the consequences of us not achieving everything that we set out in the medium-term plan for?
Jimmy, if you listened to the president when he was campaigning, one of the things they were talking about, and even today, the plan.
Yeah.
The plan. And we have a saying that if you do not plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
Let me take an example of those who have children in school. Your daughter or son has come home and they are on holiday and they want to go back to school. They have given you a shopping list and plus the total budget. And let's say it's about 3,000.
Yeah.
And they go to the shopping mall and then they decide whatever meets their eye is what they pick. At the end of the day, they will have spent the money, maybe 3-4 items, but they will not have met their goal. They will struggle in school. This is the same with us, that if we do not stick to the plan, number one, we might use resources but not really put it to good use, misuse. We will implement things that probably we have not factored in our plan. Any plan desires to take us to a place. The president talks of taking us to Singapore.
Yeah.
A plan. We have to stick to the plan, play by the rules of the plan for us to arrive to the destination that we need. As a country, that is the discipline that this State Department wants us to embrace. That if it is not in the plan, then it should not be done. Let's wait. Let's bring it in through official channels into the plan and then implement. Let resources follow the plan, not the plan following the resources.
All right, so let me put you on the spot, Bwana PS. Now, you're in charge of planning for our economic future.
Yes.
A lot of young people and the Gen Zs particularly are struggling to find jobs, are struggling to make ends meet. What is your plan for them?
Wow. Yeah, it's a good spot, but it's a very, it's a discussion that we should not shy off. It is true, above 70% of our population, these are young people. These are what you're calling Gen Z. And one of the things that we are doing is to ensure all our young people have an opportunity to contribute to the economic growth. You might call it a job, or I'd call a job. You might call it probably a business, but this country needs leadership that we have under the leadership of the president, that deliberate steps we are taking under our State Department. One of the things that we are doing is reach out to the young people. You know, for a very long time, we've been speaking to the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
We need to sit down and listen to them. We have initiated what we are calling Gumzo la Uchumi Mashinani. So that we are able to understand, yes, we are creating jobs. Like you see the Nyota, we went out. And the turnout has been overwhelming. So we are going out in Gumzo la Uchumi Mashinani to sit and listen to the young people and tell them, look here, this is what we are doing. We are planning to do A, B, C, to create jobs here and there. But what is your take? What is your contribution? Are we doing it the right way? Do we need to change the way we are doing things so that we're able to address your needs? Yes. That is a fact that we cannot run away because of some other issues here and there. That unemployment is also something that we are grappling with, but we are addressing it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So in closing, Bwana PS, you're coming up with a set of this policy and rules that are likely to enforce how we do our planning and how we align our budgets into our plans. Now, for the sake of ensuring that there is clarity, I want you to be very categorical. What will be the consequences that you're thinking of in terms of when we have this economic planning policy? What are the consequences of not following this economic planning consequences?
From
Policy,
planning,
rather.
thank you. From planning point of view, I don't want to prescribe in a craft stone the consequences.
Yeah.
We will leave this to the entire stakeholders to tell us. But one of the consequences will be, let's look at the performance metrics of the project if it's a government project.
Yeah.
If it is underperforming, then it should not receive the next allocation of the budget. If it is a stalled project, then it should be completely cancelled, and we pick the lessons learned there and then improve on it. So those are some of them. Is try to deny resources where you feel the plan shows or the policy shows that here, if we put it, it will not have a multiplier effect that contributes to the economic growth. So some of those are the consequences, but this is still work in progress. Draft has to go through the stakeholders. If I prescribe everything here, I'll be taking over the role of public participation and even the parliament, because they're the ones who are supposed to panel beat the bill and allow it to be transformed into the law.
All right. When should Kenyans expect that once this formative stage is done, that the bill should be ready? Are we looking at this year? Are we looking at going into next year?
I'm one man who is very ambitious, and fortunately, I also am a man of faith. I believe in miracles, and we are doing it. Yeah, miracles. We are doing it. We are working on economic planning policy. We should be having a stakeholder engagement next month. By May, we should be having a document. That we can now refer to.
Okay.
That is how ambitious we are. But you know, the bill takes some time.
Yeah.
I don't want to, until I have a product number one, step number one, let me cross the bridge of the bill when I reach it. But the policy will be ready by May, latest early June.
All right. Yes. Thanks so much, Bwana PS. Just in closing, as we wrap up this conversation, what would be your word maybe to our viewers who are following this conversation and would want to know what has been, we have all these plans. When can we start ensuring that we live within these plans? We have very good documents, whether it's in Parliament, whether it's in our state ministries and departments. But just even as you give us your final thoughts, what should we expect? What should we expect different once the policy is ready?
I thank you, Jimmy. Part of what we are including in that policy is effective communication of results. The government, is not that the plans are there and they are not being implemented. I'll tell you for free. The government is doing a lot of work, and we are implementing these projects. Let me just take you to my local area where I come from, which is Busia County. The other day I was there with the president, and he was launching, not on paper, on ground. And you can verify that. The roads are being constructed. When you look around, the markets are being constructed. Like Bumala is already complete. We have Nasewa, which is a smart city. 2,000 unit affordable housing. They are there. We have the Kipes. We have the road. We are even having an airstrip there. These are things that are happening in all counties. What is making probably us appear like we are not implementing the plan is our communication strategy. We are also coming in as the planners so that we bring in the aspect of communication for results. So this is one of the areas that the policy is also will be addressing to help us go out there and communicate results, not from ourselves, together with the grassroots. We want to communicate results. We want to show what the government is doing. We want to own up if there is a place as planning department we've not done well. We want to say, yes, here we are not doing well, but we are trying to improve. So that is what the policy is coming to bring into perspective.
All right, thanks so much, Bwana PS, for
Asante.
taking your time to take us through where we are in terms of all the plans that we have made as a country and what needs to happen. And that's all the time we have for you on Market Pulse this day, and we will be sure to keep you updated as and when the policy is out and what are some of the details in that policy. Stay tuned and see you on the next episode.